New Start Youth Allowance have not had a real increase in 25 years.
How someone gets by on $280 a week, God only knows.
Do you think the rate needs to be lifted?
Yes, I do.
This is real people that we're talking about.
Should New Start be raised? That's the question dividing the coalition government. According to the Australian Council of Social Service, some 550,000 Australians receive New Start payments, which haven't increased in real terms in 25 years. New Start is indexed according to the Consumer Price Index instead of the Wage Price Index, and the consensus among economists is that it hasn't kept up with the cost of living. But the hardest hit areas are in rural and regional Australia, which has sparked some interest among Nationals MPs, including former Deputy PM and Nationals backbencher Barnaby Joyce. Approximately 5% of residents in New South Wales Central West are unemployed, beating Greater Sydney by 2%.
Bathurst, the regional city in central New South Wales, gets a lot of attention for its famous Mount Panorama racetrack. But very little attention is given to its residents struggling on New Start.
Seeing people trying to survive on New Start is heartbreaking, and seeing people not being able to get out of their current situation because they don't have the financial capacity for change. Particularly when it comes to areas like housing, but even about areas of getting to a next level. Sometimes it might be particular training that isn't covered by AusStudy or they're not accessible to, or particular moving to different towns, getting a house where they're comfortable, which means they kind of get stuck in this New Start circle, and often for a lot of people having to share houses with people that make life a bit more challenging for them because it's the only option for them in housing on New Start.
Jacqueline Caston isn't eligible for New Start because of a workers' compensation payout she received after being injured at work. Despite large chunks of her payout going toward legal fees and medical bills and still not being able to work, Centrelink has refused to approve any claims for several years because only the payout's gross total was assessed, not the final amount Jacqueline received. However, her partner is on New Start, and she says if it wasn't for community support groups, they wouldn't have survived this long.
Can't survive on it. We're not even scraping by, which is the problem at the moment. The New Start he's actually retired. He's had a couple of accidents with his hands, but because he's under the retirement age, he has to claim New Start. No, if it hadn't been for these guys here and the Uniting Church, the safe shelter there, we wouldn't have survived.
Jacqueline says her situation is not unique.
There's a lot of people out there. See, this is our first experience and it's only been going on for a month or so, but I've met people that really need the help.
Statistician Colin Sharp says while he doesn't know whether the standard singles New Start rate of $555 a fortnight is enough, he believes most people want to support those looking for work.
My wife and I own our home. Our children have left us, but I presume if we were to take into account your fixed overhead like rates, your car registration, all those sorts of things, once you start to load those up, I'd imagine those sorts of things would be coming up close to that value anyway, so you'd be doing it pretty damn hard.
So we contacted the federal member for Careers office and were told the member didn't have time for an interview. We contacted the state member for the Bathurst's office and were told it wasn't the member's problem and that he also didn't have time. We contacted Bathurst Regional Council and were told it wasn't their issue and that we should go back to the Commonwealth. It seems that time is a precious commodity and one that Australia's most vulnerable are quickly running out of.
This is Joe Brick-Palmer in Bathurst.